titles is why China needs more children, and this is my point, my main point. And the first point, the policy has instilled to everyone's mind. And the one-child policy has influenced many young couples nowadays, and nowadays young couples don't even want to give birth due to the policy, and so China is now too few young, too few women, and too many elderly. And the second point is the offer and award by the law. The law will offer longer maternity leave and other benefits to couples that delay childbearing, and those who volunteer to have only one child will even also awarded a certificate of honor for single child parents. That will also make some couple who want more child and change their mind, and they will change their mind because of the offer.
Tell us about the offer again. What's the offer about?
The offer is those couple who delay to give birth will get the offer from the law. The law offers the longer maternity leave to those couples who delay give birth.
I understand. In your words, in your own words, explain the offer to us.
Those couples who give birth and who delay to give birth will receive the offer that they can get more leave for the maternity.
Okay, go on. We'll come back to that.
And the third point, my third point is the fines. Every couple in China who give birth illegally will be fined, and the fine is often calculated at several times for a person's annual income, and a total of 330 billion have been received since the policy started. And the fourth point is the gender imbalance widen and abortions. The gender imbalance widened after 1986, and due to the Chinese traditional boys values over girls, every couple want to get a boy than a girl, and the female infanticide resumed in some areas when ultrasound tests and abortions become easier to come by. The gender imbalance also caused the 3 points that too few workers and too few young and too few women. Too few workers. Workforce is always an advantage for China, but nowadays the country labor is going down, so the employers have to pay more wages to get more workers, and the too few young. By 2015, 1 in 3 Chinese will be older than 60, so that every single child will be responsible for 6 older. That means one child have one pair of parents and 2 pair of grandparents. And due to this the analysts fear that with too few children to care for them, China's elderly people will suffer neglect, and too few women. According to the research, by 2020, there are 30 million men of marriageable age may unable to find their spouse. And the crime rate, especially sexual violence, will be rising too. And the last point, raising one is hard enough. China young men think that they must own their own apartments to secure their spouse due to the gender imbalance. And even though 40% of those who qualify to have more than one child have no plan to do because they think it's better to focus on one child and they cannot care properly if they have no child.
Why do you use separate PPTs? It's a group presentation, supposed to be one altogether.
Good afternoon, everyone. Now that you already have a big picture of what the one-child policy is like and some of its consequences the Chinese government now has to deal with, I would like to give more in-depth information on it to show that the policy has been influencing even more aspects than you could ever imagine. First of all, let's take a look at a brief history of the one-child policy here. As you see, the idea of controlling China's own population first arose in the 1950s when some Chinese Communist Party leaders noticed the population was growing too fast. Although the population was a mere 563 million compared to a total of more than 1.3 billion nowadays, then
Slow down and explain each of your points clearly. Try not to look at your script. Explain the points to the audience. It's easier for them to understand.
in 1957, China started to consider family planning. And then in 1962, China promoted birth control. 1970, the population exceeded 800 million. And then in 1971, China put more focus on family planning. In 1975, the slogan "Late Long Few" was established. 1980.
Tell us about the slogan. What does late long few mean?
Late means they promote marriage later in life. And long means long means I don't know what long means.
And why did you put it here?
But the few means few children. And in 1980, the one-child policy was officially implemented. So it's basically every couple should have only one child, and if you violate it, you will get expelled from your job if you work in the government, or you will be expelled from the Communist Party. And there were some adjustments in the 1980s. To 2000, China had become an aging society, and in 2003, the banned sex-selective abortion was banned. And last year, the policy was relaxed, but not totally abolished, because they have seen the disadvantages of the policy.
Tell the audience exactly what the policy is relaxed means. Your own words, in case some of them didn't understand.
The policy was relaxed by if some couples, if one of the parents is himself or herself a single child in his or her family, then the couple will be allowed to have the second children. The original rule was both the couple has to be both of them have to be single children, then they are allowed to have second children.
Only the highlights.
Okay. So these are the advantages of the policy. Fewer people is better because they put less pressure on economy and food supply. The authority claims 400 million fewer Chinese were born since 1980, but the truth is the maximum would be only 100 million. The disadvantages are human rights abuses like abortions, sterilizations, frequent medical checkups.
What do you mean by 2 million sterilizations?
就是那个结扎。Abortion only means half the price. And next is selective abortions. Traditionally, Chinese value boys over girls. So if they have only one chance, they will not choose. Normally, they will not choose a girl rather than a boy, and that caused unbalanced sex ratio at birth with 118 to 100. And the bureaucracy. And too few youth, but too many elderly. It's growing old before growing rich, unlike Japan. Japan is far more richer than China, so their welfare or their care are much better than China's. And too few workers, really bad for the state to depending heavily on labor. And the next, for the middle class, raising one child is already a heavy burden, because imagine you have to buy your son a house for him to get a wife. The last is it too late to fix the problem? Last year, China only made a small adjustment. They are not willing to totally abolish the whole policy. So, and there are many other factors against the abolition of the policy. And according to our chosen article, even if the policy were totally abolished, China won't be able to solve all the problems above, such as too few workers in the future 2 decades.
I'm going to introduce the one birth policy because it deeply affected the woman deeply. The policy is why China decided to make this policy because they want to control the group of population. This policy was established in 1979 years. Why China want to make this policy? Because they want to reduce the population, because they want to promote the population ability. And why women spread is why the status of woman is lower than men, because traditional values. Chinese usually put more emphasis on men than women. And another reason was the public welfare is insufficient. So the old people want to raise children to prepare for being old. There was another reason, because in the rural area, people usually engage in agriculture, so they need more people, and the men's ability was superior than women, so they decided to the birth of man, not woman. This news was an international female group which advocated China not to held one birth policy. Because China forced women to abortion and sterilization, and this was not humanity. So they condemned China to encourage the women's rights. They deeply not assist they don't consent the policy. And I'm going to introduce why the Chinese patriarchy's origin.
Tell the audience what patriarchy is in Chinese.
Patriarchy,
I told you to prepare for the glossary. Go on.
and the origin was divided into 3 ages: collecting age, and hunting age, and agricultural age. In the collecting age, women's status are women's are equal to men's, because in the collecting age, the food was sufficient. So they
Very quickly go through the highlights, the important points.
and it was the development of Chinese patriarchy. And the status of women is lower than men, and men become the vital role in the family, and women become the tool, the production tool for men. And the feminism's origin was from the period of enlightenment. That some countries have some female campaign, and the campaign's thought thinking was spread to China. So women began to engage in some female campaign and progressively raised their status.
Okay, wrap it up. Your time's up. Wrap it up.
This was the impression of China feminism. was 武士 movement. And the second was they have more education opportunities. And the third, the AA2, they have devoted themselves to help their countries fight. So their status was raised in the world. And fourth, they can participate in the politics.
Okay, I'm going to contribute.
And next, we are talking about the situation of Taiwan. And okay, when Taiwan is facing no birth rate problem, we will investigate this issue from economy, education, mentality, or healthy. First, in economy, from 50 to 60 years ago, most Taiwanese are farmers, so they need more resources to help them farming. But now the times experience the industrialized and well-equipped technology. So most Taiwanese are not farmers anymore. Instead, their jobs are related to high technology of service, so they don't need too many resources, and the size of family is shrinking. And next, we can look at this picture, and we will introduce to audience to this curved line. This curved line is to tell us the total fertility rate. It means the sums of fertility rate of women all ages. So we can see the 1960 the total fertility rate abbreviated TFR. And the TFR on 1960 is 5.75 people. And to 2010 is getting lower to 0.89, less than 1. So the curved line tells us the TFR of Taiwan are getting lower. But when the TFR is 2.1 people per woman, it can maintain its population balance. No. And why cause this? We can see the 4 pictures. It tells reason one is percentage of youth choosing not to marry getting rise. Reason two is the age of a woman bringing their first child increasing. The reason 3 is the number of children decrease. The last one is the high level of education. But I think the reason for influence the other reason, and because people receive education, receive knowledge, as well as new idea. Just like some people think a single life is not bad, or even though they get married, the couples don't want too many children to buy their life. I think this is reason 1. And reason 2, and more women receive education makes them more capable to working and taking care of their self. So they would like to marry when they are working or study for a period of